David, would you please open the meeting with invocation?
Sure. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for this day. Just thank you for bringing us together, Lord Jesus. Lord, just be with each and every one of us as we conduct this meeting this evening, Lord. Lord, just help us to conduct this meeting in a good, organized fashion for the citizens of Cumberland, Lord. Lord, I just ask you to be with each and every person that's here on the council, the mayor, the workers, and the people in the audience, Lord. Lord, I ask you to watch over our city employees, Lord. Lord, watch over the sick people. Watch over those who are going through trials, Lord. Lord, I ask you to be with our military. Lord, I just ask you to be with our federal government and our state government and county government, Lord. And Lord, I just thank you for blessing us all with another day. In Jesus' name I pray and ask these things. Amen.
Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a roll call vote to determine quorum.
Barrett.
Here.
Bush. Here. Dixon.
Present.
Elliott.
Present.
Gilliam.
Here.
Raleigh.
Here.
Grant.
All present, and congratulations on the election. I'm glad you came out the way you did, and I want to congratulate each and every one of you. Now, we'll have to have a oath of office ceremony if at one day before you take office, anytime between now and the first day of January. We'll schedule that whenever. I'd like to do it all at once.
Maybe at a December meeting, would that be good? To just do it at one time, so, because December's hard to get two meetings into December.
Yeah. It's hard to get a meeting in December, but if we do have one, we can do it that way.
Okay, we could notify all the weathers.
We really should have one in December, a meeting, and just do it that way.
Okay,
We did last year.
Yeah.
okay. But we plan on it then, that
Okay.
way, okay? And if you don't mind, I told Mr. Cleon Cornick that he could have the first few minutes of the council meeting tonight, so we'd like to address the council. So, Mr. Cornick, if you want to step right out.
Thank you, Mayor. In the unlikely event that there's someone here that don't know me, my name is Cleon Cornett, and I have recently been blessed with the chairmanship of the Trail Town Committee. So, in my never-ending effort to communicate, I'd like to present just a brief summary of what Trail Town is and where we're at and where we hope to go. For the sake of time, I took the liberty to put it together in a little package. I'll give that to you and take it home, read it. If you have any questions, call me. Come down to my house, we'll fry some crappie and talk about your questions. May I approach, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
There's a podium back there if you want to use it.
I just need something to sit on here. Go, thank you. As you go through this,
Thank you.
you probably know, some know a little bit about it, some know a lot about it, maybe some don't know anything about it. I believe it has the potential to give the cities an added dimension at some point in time in the future. It's going to take some time to develop, as most of these things do. It's kind of like they say, it's going to be a marathon and not a sprint, but it's certainly a worthwhile thing. You're probably aware that the city has signed off and requested this. Mayor, you pretty well
I've got one, thank you.
plugged into what it is. So again, like I say, if you would be so kind, look it over. You see anything there that you do have a question about, please don't hesitate to call me or holler or stop me on the street or whatever. And if I don't know the answer, I certainly will get it for you. Anyone got any questions now? Okay, thank you for your time.
Yeah, sure, we appreciate you very much.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Cleon.
appreciate it.
Seems like it's an interesting program that would benefit the city for its tourist attraction. That next program. And if y'all don't mind, we have a new maintenance supervisor with us tonight, and he's on overtime, so I'd like for him to explain some of the things that they've, some positive things that's taken place, and if you have any questions or would like to talk to him about anything in the maintenance department, here's your opportunity. And Mr. Frank Ross, he's now the maintenance supervisor. Yes.
I'd just like to take the time to mention to you folks exactly the tasks that have been accomplished here in the past couple months. That way the council is a little more aware of the progress that's being made. The city has now got a complete inventory of all city-owned properties at the police department, city hall, water, sewer, and maintenance building. The maintenance/warehouse has been cleaned, space added by building a loft which allowed over 192 square feet of storage space for all parts and materials from the water and sewer plant. They're now being monitored, inventoried, and kept under lock and key. Work orders are required to obtain any of the inventory from this facility right now. All vehicles in the city fleets are now on a routine maintenance schedule that is being performed in-house at a fraction of the cost versus going elsewhere to get these jobs done. Safety procedures are back being enforced. All employees that are working in the field are wearing safety vests, eye protection when needed, back braces are available to all employees, and all flashing lights are working on all maintenance vehicles. We have also started a little cleanup of our own at the city properties, which is definitely a work in progress. We have already hauled off over 32 tires at no cost to the city and approximately 4,800 pounds of scrap materials. The city's Kodiak dump truck is now back in service. It's got a whole new inner dumping bed to it. A complete maintenance service has been done to it. The city's salt spreader is also back in service and has already been put to use, dreadfully. At the water plant, there's a heat pump down there that I was told has been down for years. Within a short time, myself and one of the other employees from the maintenance department has now have that working. So the water plant has finally got heat after approximately, I'm hearing, 8 years. Okay. We also made some repairs at the sewer plant on the scraper motor of the clarifier, which had been down for over 4 months. Estimated saving cost of over $2,000, and we did these repairs in-house also. The backhoe has also been being repaired and maintained, but also and still needing and replacing wearable parts, such as the bushings throughout the whole machine. The new packer is also in full use now. Great. That's boosted a lot of morale around the maintenance department, I'll tell you. Currently, I'm trying to find contractors licensed and insured to give estimates on repairs to the maintenance building, police station, and the cardboard storage area, which is to be funded by coal severance. Also, the repairs to the old packer are currently being estimated and prioritized to fit into the funds set aside also by coal severances. So if there's any questions in any of this, I'd be glad to answer them, and I hope you can see the progress that is being made.
Sounds good. Will we be getting a monthly report on their maintenance of, especially the Packer, and, well, the other vehicles also? I would like to see that because we saw in the past it's not been done, and it's taken a toll on the cost.
I would agree with that 100%, and I would have no problem at all bringing a report in for that.
Meeting. And overtime, is it being kept?
None.
No
I have
overtime?
actually probably cut enough hours to justify my own wages.
Okay, all right. That's all I had.
Anything else?
I have one question or something you could just check on for me. I had a citizen that wanted to know about garbage pickup on Fairview Hill at a specific residence, which I'll leave with Robin.
Okay, I absolutely check on it. I get them calls every day, and today was one of them, being that we were off yesterday. We did a double route today with that new packer. What they didn't do yesterday was done today. They did double routes today.
Yeah, where I was closed yesterday, there's right up from the police station, there's a big piece of metal. I guess it blew off some kind of building leaning up against the sidewalk.
Okay.
you know, he hit
Can
somebody.
you tell me a little more where that's at?
You know, we're straight above the police station, Rudy's.
It blew off Rudy's.
I saw
It
a
blew
fellow
off
pushing
Rudy's this
that,
morning.
bending that up against the
Monday morning,
building.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know, if it blows out and hits somebody.
It was out in the road.
I told Silas about it
Yeah,
yesterday,
it blew
but
out in the road that Monday.
he didn't go do nothing
All
with
right,
it.
we'll get it picked up, but I
And
mean,
then
it's probably
right there,
privately owned, isn't it? I
Huh?
mean, I can get it off the streets, but is the building privately owned?
It's laying on the sidewalk,
Okay,
so I mean,
just,
you get it.
all right, not a
That-
problem.
And then too, the building there, used to be Joe's Barber Shop. Remember that? They boxed up the windows, but evidently it's collapsed inside. And those plate glass windows pushed out, now they're all over the sidewalk. I mean, a huge pile of glass right down from Club 180.
Okay,
Can't
I'll have
miss
to
it.
take a look at that then.
Just keep somebody from getting it.
Right.
Now, you don't do
absolutely.
the inventory, the police does, this is not, the police department's totally separate what you're doing.
Mr. Creech had done his own inventory,
Yeah, so
but I
that's
have
just
got it
yours,
on
yeah.
file in my
Okay.
office and a copy for City Hall also.
Okay.
Yeah, I have not inventoried anything personally in that department. I let Mr. Creech do all the inventory over there.
I would like a copy of that report
Of which
that you
report?
just gave us.
Yeah.
If you can read my writing, that's all right. It was for my own personal notes, but I gladly would
I
give
can
that to
read it.
you.
I'd like to add it on to this. so.
Okay,
That
not a problem. I'll
copy
see
machine
if
don't
Robert
work
can
over
make
there.
copies
We
of
can
it.
make it for you right now, but I'm going to get it fixed so we can.
Because we usually get reports of the supervisor, we get copies of this.
Not a problem. And if there's a better way I can do it, I'd be glad to. Any
No,
ideas?
that's fine.
No,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
fine.
just type you out a month.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
And it'll show, it'll be, that way we'll have it on record.
yeah.
For maintenance
Anybody ever
file.
asked, when this and such happened, we can look back and say, okay, he gave us the report on this day, and.
All
And
right,
that way, it just, everybody keeps track of it.
absolutely. Not a problem. I will
Thank
do
you.
that.
Go
Thank
clock
you.
out.
No,
Thank you, Frank.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
if there's
clock
no
out
more
now.
questions, you're free to leave.
No, I don't.
Or you can just sit by,
On your own time, you're sitting there.
You get 2 hours credit anyway.
I was on my own time anyway. I thought that was fine with me.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, there's no other speakers, I don't think so. The next item on the agenda would be the approval of the minutes. Any questions or concerns about those?
I went back and compared these minutes. Last meeting, we asked for these to be in more clarity than what we received last month. That would be the ones for September 11th, September 13th, and October the 4th. And from looking at, there's been things that have been removed, but there's not been anything that's been added.
Well, I wouldn't know what,
September 11th, I gave Robin a copy because there were so many errors in it, and it's not corrected.
what's wrong with it now.
Well, they're not accurate.
Yeah, they're
If
not,
we don't have
not
them
what we
accurate
requested.
past that, it goes on the record as that's exactly how it was, and we've gotta have the corrections from now before we can
What's
pass
the,
this minutes.
well,
I think October 4th is word for word what the last one was. isn't it?
It is. It's on there.
So it's not been
That's the
changed
one
at
that
all.
you gave.
so I guess what we're gonna do is just let them review those tapes and put these aside to the December meeting.
okay.
What about the nines?
I don't even have a copy of it now.
That's when Mr. Bruce Ayers got the errors came before the council.
I know about, saying, I
Oh,
know.
a regular council meeting you're talking about?
Did you ever get a
I
copy?
don't have a copy of it.
I think I got a copy of
All of these were put into trays over there.
Not mine,
I didn't get a copy of those either.
not a minute.
Nope,
I've got
sure did.
mine.
Sometimes they get,
Sometimes
I
they
didn't
get
get a
stuff,
copy.
like I've got 2 copies of somebody's agenda.
We got it.
I guess that's somehow it gets mixed up.
yeah, because that's easy to do when you
It's
got
easy
that
to
many
do when
October
slots.
the
you stick so
9th.
many slots in there.
Well, I try to keep everybody informed as to what's going on by putting the information when it takes place to be current in those trays over there. I put it in it sometimes, and then one of the clerks will put it in sometimes, but apparently some of you are getting it and some of you are not getting it.
It could be just an error sticking in those slots.
I have October the 4th, but nothing on October the 9th, I don't.
It is October
Uh-huh.
4th.
You want
That's
to read? That's just like a
exactly-
recall.
It's exactly because.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read this? You
I
want to
just
read mine,
got to
so you
see
can
it.
decide?
Did you get yours, Carl?
Yeah.
Who all didn't get it? David got his?
I'm looking, I'm pretty sure I saw it.
See, there's the
We just, I just tried
last
to put it
copy
in
of
there
the
on the
forward
same day they
that we
get
got on the
completed,
ninth.
so that
And
we
it's
can keep up to
exact.
date.
There's no changes.
That's okay.
I have to listen to the tape.
And then
These are accurate. These are accurate.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So
not,
nobody got a copy of the 9th minutes?
I did.
there it is.
There it is, I got it. Yeah, it was put in our
And here
box on
was the
October
11th, that's one I gave you a copy
I've
of
got
all
that
it.
one.
Yeah.
Okay,
The mayor said just give it to you because there's so much.
the notes on it, or the
Yeah.
questions and things, not really changes, were they? Just questions, weren't they?
No, it was things that were important.
The waste connections, about documents.
This is also the one that had the first reading of the budget on it, and it was left off of the original minutes. There was a lot of stuff on there that was left completely out. But anyway, just listen to this,
Yeah, you can listen to tapes.
because that's what I did on this.
That's what I do. I go back and listen to tape and,
Well,
No, October 9th.
But the October 4th is exactly the same.
I don't see anything wrong with the October 9th minutes. They're accurate.
well, just lay the minutes aside, we'll go on to the rest of the meeting, we'll go to financial statements. Any questions or comments?
Gary Williams, auditor, is he doing our audit right now? Is that why we're paying him? Or is this for a past bill?
It's our current audit.
The current.
2012. He probably have it finished by end of this week.
How much property taxes have we received, thus far?
$89,000.
That was not, is it on our report here?
No, we just got it today.
Okay.
what's this Continental Aberdeen, is that what it's called? You know what it is?
I think it's chemicals, off the top of my head.
Have we been collecting the bank franchise fee?
Won't get it till probably December, I think.
So is that quarterly or every year? Yearly?
What's G&K Services?
That's rental for the employees that takes the uniforms. It's cut out of paychecks.
Sorry. I didn't work on you.
No, it's fine.
So we pay the Blue Cross and Blue Shield out of the individual accounts, but pay payroll out of another account.
Have y'all heard anything about how the Obamacare is gonna affect the city yet?
Not yet.
What about Family Dollar? How come Family Dollar is so much in water and sewer?
They're buying all of the office supplies from Family Dollar now. And it goes to the, Frank, Mr. Ross there, makes all the purchases for each department.
Is this for track phone minutes too? Y'all have track
We don't
phone?
have any, no, there's no track phone deals on that, no.
What does the water and sewer department need from Family Dollar?
Paper towels, hand cleansers, sterilized soap, Clorox, especially Clorox.
They do
I hate
get
to
it.
tell you this, but if you'll check on some of those items, you can get them cheaper at Food City, 'cause I know.
Yeah,
I comparison shop.
or sometimes I get stuff cheaper at Walmart than I do at the
You have to
dollar
watch.
store, really.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
You
sure
can't
do.
just go Family Dollar and assume it's
Jay,
gonna be cheaper, 'cause it's not always.
Yeah.
And they bought cordless phones too for both water plant and sewer plant. That was on that ticket too.
J&R Printing out of the water,
How much is it
209.97.
for secrets?
ATV stickers, $12.50. We already,
That was the last one on that.
I
And
know.
we didn't charge them that, because we've sold them since then.
On the payroll account, there was no money transferred out of the general fund, but money was transferred out of LGEA and MRA.
There's a loan to cover the cost of the payroll.
So has it been put back?
It will be put back.
Department of Justice, I know that's an incoming, what is that, 3935?
That's reimbursement for one of the officers' wages. It's that grant. I think we got, see, what, about 30 more thousand?
Yes.
28, something like that, left in it.
It's good that July of next year,
Okay.
it runs out sometimes in next July, but till that time frame, we pull down every quarterly certain amount.
From one officer's salary.
Okay,
Pays for everything, insurance, everything.
oh, good.
Have we paid anything on the Bob Frazier Park?
$9,000, no, $12,000, $13,000 yearly. Still on $22,000.
And they will be
When
putting
we're-
a fence up around that, won't
We
they?
will be, yeah, but.
Oh.
when will it be completed? Or
uh,
when will it be completed?
The scope of work has already been completed.
I mean, like the ramp that goes up to the,
They're building the deck when they can get at the end of the ramp, a seating, an area where parents can sit and watch their children play on it at the end of that ramp.
The 180 Club is building that.
And the fence will be supplied by who?
The tourism department.
Tourism, okay.
I went to a meeting last month and there were several things that Tracy has. She has about $9,000 left in a grant.
This
that
electric vehicle.
She's working
she
on.
come tell us about that too.
It is.
Or gave us a brief.
About that.
I don't know. And then they got.
No, she
water.
said they're wanting to pave over the old
electricity.
tennis courts and possibly
What is
build a
that?
gazebo there. And then they're gonna put up the fence, and they already have electricity over there that they pay the bill on monthly.
The maintenance says $4,099.81 in electricity
Zero for
and
the
zero
water.
for the water. Shouldn't that be reversed?
That's streetlights.
Hey,
The maintenance.
How much, how long is that for?
That's 1 month.
1 month for streetlights?
4,000.
And half of them don't work.
So the water
We're still
didn't
getting
use
Well,
any
I'm-
electricity?
I guess my question is then, why is it listed under administrative for 224? I mean,
That's
why
for
is it
this
split?
building.
Hmm?
That's just for this building.
And then this under maintenance is all the streetlights.
Yeah,
That's cheaper than what it was to start with, though.
yeah.
It is, but we really do need to get them to fix the ones that's not working.
Yep, it's
You've got
black out
3 up
there.
there by the,
Well, these have been out 2 days now.
They were up here today. KU
Uh-huh.
has been.
It just takes time, you know.
Uh-huh.
But with KU, they have to have so many work orders before they'll come up here and do them.
those ones up by the highway up there where
Now,
my
they
manor
worked
is.
on, they worked on them again
There's
about
4
2
of them
weeks
that's
ago.
right there
but
that don't
I
work.
don't know if they're working now or not.
Well, why does it say zero for a water plant?
It's on the water and sewer report.
Yeah,
Why is there some water expenditures on the general fund report?
like what?
Blue Cross, Blue Shield,
Because
League of Cities.
it's automatically taken out of the checking account. So we just divide it up that way so you'll see it.
Gas card.
A lot of places won't break it up in different checking accounts.
What's the R.E. Bob Frazier, 12318?
That's a bond on a police
Okay.
officer,
It comes out of administration now?
or one of ours.
General
All of
fund.
the bonds are paid through them,
Oh, okay.
yeah, on the police and us in here.
That's all I had on that.
Any additional questions or anything before we move on? I have a proclamation to be read. Ask for,
Can I volunteer to read this?
is there a proclamation?
Mm-hmm. On domestic violence, is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah, go ahead and read it, too. That'd be
Proclamation of a moral challenge, Win the War Against Violence, the 2012 10% Challenge by Mayor Carl Hatfield, City of Cumberland, Kentucky. Whereas Win the War Against Violence, a Lexington, Kentucky nonprofit organization and public charity, has announced Moral Challenge, Win the War Against Violence, the 2012 10% Challenge in Kentucky to facilitate a reduction of all unjustified violence within our Commonwealth. Whereas Win the War Against Violence, the 2012 10% Challenge is a violence reduction and prevention educational awareness campaign to challenge and encourage all people in Lexington, Kentucky to reduce the number of violence victimizations in the city 10% in 2012. Whereas the campaign is most especially targeted to the youth of Kentucky, whereas violence negatively affects everyone in our city and Kentucky regardless of their position or beliefs, whereas violence in Kentucky remains at an unacceptably high level, whereas violence reduces the quality of life for victims of violence in our city and in Kentucky, whereas violence interferes with the students' education in our city and Kentucky and interferes educators' ability to teach, whereas violence creates unnecessary cost to individuals and businesses within Kentucky, whereas violence creates unnecessary cost to our city and to Kentucky, whereas when Kentucky makes progress in reducing violence, it will become even more attractive to new businesses and visitors, whereas all of the 4.3 million people Kentucky would in some way benefit from a 10% reduction in violence in 2012, most especially if it's 1 million children, which is 23% of the population. Now therefore be it resolved on this day, November the 13th, 2012, that the 25th of November will be Win the War Against Violence, the 2012 10% Challenge Day in the city of Cumberland.
Can I hear a motion to adopt?
In the second paragraph, should that say encourage all people in Cumberland, Kentucky instead of
That's what I
Lexington?
wanted to.
This actually came out of Lexington,
Yeah, they said-
the headquarters. This came out of Lexington, and the only reason why I know that is my experience behind it. But this is where it came from, generated from.
Well, let's,
But you can change it to Cumberland.
I make a motion to accept it. I don't have a problem with it.
I mean, I
Well,
don't see a
wouldn't
problem
be
with
encouraging somebody in Lexington, so.
There's your needed up there too, it's getting down there.
This is 10% across the state is the reduction they're working toward.
in the city of attention. Let's change it to Cumberland.
Okay.
I second change.
Yeah, we just need to make that correction.
Just to make a pin in it, yeah. All in favor, so indicate by saying aye. Opposed? Wayne, would you post a copy of this on your wall up there?
I will.
Okay. And we'll keep a copy there. And then I have a resolution here. We have another truck, that black Chevrolet Colorado truck. It's got a fuel pump bad. It's just not worth repairing, and we need to sell it, declare it surplus property. And I have a resolution here, number 396 with it's a old
395 resolution.
395, yes. The truck has got one of the door frames. The driver's side door won't even open. You can't even open it because it's been damaged so badly, and the frame is.
But it does still run,
No.
so we can put it up for, I mean, it was running, its fuel pump's bad.
Fuel pump's bad, and it's got several different.
So we're gonna advertise it in the paper,
We're gonna sell it for.
highest bidder in December,
Yeah.
or December meeting.
We'll put it up for auction. I'll put it. We'll publish
And
it.
that's cash payment, that's not
No
pay,
credit.
pay and come in and pay next month and,
That's.
cause that's the way it's
cash and
supposed to be
carry.
start with,
Yeah.
cash
We
and
received
carry.
the payment on the red truck.
Well, let's finish this
Let me
first.
finish this,
Yeah.
I'll read it for you. You just need the front page, the rest is just the title, right?
Yeah.
Resolution number 395, whereas the city of Cumberland has equipment which is surplus to our needs and in deteriorated condition to be of any further benefit. And whereas the city of Cumberland could better utilize the space made available with revenue generated from disposing of such items. Now for it be resolved, the city of Cumberland will offer for sale to the highest and best bidder the following items. A, 2004 black Chevy Colorado. The above items and description to be published as required by instructions pertaining to submitting bid proposals. Motion to accept by,
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Maybe we'll get lucky like the rest.
yeah, we got to be receiving one for the ribbon too.
Now what about the Impala?
Uh,
We never agreed to take payments on that car.
Well, we've got it covered. We get these councilmen in, it's covered. We're gonna get the payment for it.
It should have been covered though to start with, because we turned other people down
And
because
it's
of
then
that.
been transferred, from what I understand, sold.
Yeah.
So we're stuck with a,
Well, we're not stuck. It's just delayed. But we got it.
I know, but that's not good practice.
Here's another, that resolution's approved. This is another resolution, 396.
Resolution number 396. Whereas the city of Cumberland is in the process of obtaining a loan for Branch Bank and Trust BB&T Company for the purpose of leasing a new garbage truck, which is to be obtained from Worldwide Equipment. And whereas the execution of certain documents in connection therewith is required by Branch Bank and Trust Company, and now therefore it be resolved by Cumberland City Council as follows. The mayor of Cumberland is hereby authorized to enter into a legally binding agreement and complete loan documents between the city of Cumberland and Branch Bank and Trust Company, approved by the city council. I guess we might approve it.
Should that be leasing or purchase?
Should be purchased.
Because we're,
Purchase.
yeah,
For owning, yeah.
actually, it
It
says
says
leasing, it's, so shouldn't we change that to
It
purchase?
should be purchased.
Okay,
yeah.
let's change that to purchase, okay?
Purpose.
'Cause leasing is a totally different thing.
We are the owners of it.
I make a motion to accept that.
I'll second
Motion's made, seconded on resolution number 396.
I made it in Carolyn.
Second.
Second?
Mhm.
Roll call on that.
Do you know how many boxes
This,
of papers I have in the city?
What was that number on that?
396.
So that was a notice
Okay.
turn. I'm down.
Okay, I'll fill mine out in a minute.
Okay, let me have yours and you keep this. Okay. This is the one that Mr. Parker, will be closing this out Thursday. The banker's coming. We'll have a roll call vote.
Barrett,
Yes.
Bush,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Gilliam,
Yes.
Raleigh.
Mr. Bob, you might want to look at that.
You know, I've reviewed all those other documents.
That's one, that attachment.
I don't remember. I'll certainly have to look at that again to make sure there's nothing about lease in there.
Is it lease purchase? Is
I
it
didn't
work?
see this.
I know we didn't lease it though.
No, it's a purchase.
It is a out and out.
But I think when we bought the police cars, somewhere or another, it was called a lease purchase,
yeah.
but when you make the last payment, they're yours.
You'll pay $1 on it, you'll
Yeah.
get a police car on that.
Okay, that's how you do leases. The purchases is just, actually, it's a different thing.
This contract specifically said we are the owners of
Uh-huh.
this.
Yes.
So that would be
They
purchased, yeah.
take they take a security interest in it, a lien, until it's paid. Of course, you
I
would
guess that's
expect that.
true.
Sure.
And if you don't pay it, they can repossess it.
I hate to repossess a garbage truck.
Full of garbage,
I
yeah.
would too.
That would
I'm
be
sure
one,
they would.
that would be
Sure
one I'd
someone
about
would
be
be
willing to
glad.
walk around.
I'm sure they would though.
Somewhere,
They're
Some
too hard to
desperate
get
little
hold
city
of.
might want it if
somewhere
they
we
were
take
to.
it.
You would be surprised after the
Yeah.
one we got.
That's right.
right.
That's right.
Okay, that's all I had on the resolution. There's one item I'd like to, I put a letter in there for you from Laura, Amelia, and Ross from the League of Cities concerning the resolution that we had questions about. Mr. Hobbs, I'd like you to look at that too. Her response to that. And I put some other documents in the trays concerning the ordinance number 246. That's the regulatory alcoholic beverage tax. The ordinance we're required to renew every year. And it establishes 3% alcohol tax, something that the council needs to be looking at. And then a letter concerning the blockage, the sewage blockage.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I put this in your
Oh, here
tray.
it is, yeah.
Yes, it's been corrected, but it's something that can't continue. We're gonna have to take more stringent action to prevent towels, paper towels that will not dissolve in our sewage system.
Well, we're also gonna have to put the safety screens back in. So we'll take the safety screens out of it, and they're down at the sewer plant laying down there, so it's gonna allow the towels to pass right through to the propellers if you don't put the safety screens back in.
Where the screen is?
At the sewer plant.
What screen?
That project was
like a
put in
cage.
down there. There's big screen dividers that go down in there. Well, what was happening was, this is what came around, I guess, the grapevine. What was happening was those screens were stopping. So rather than run down there every few minutes and unstop the screens, they took them out. So now all that bypasses and goes straight to propellers and wraps around them. If you put the screens back in, it's gonna stop those big objects before they get to the propeller.
I'm not aware of what, I don't know what you're talking about.
Down here at this memo you put in their box refers to that pump station right down there with the towels. There's a screening system before you get to that pump station.
No, that screen, are you talking about the basket
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now the basket don't work, let me put it that way.
Well, that's what it was designed.
But it was
The
removed.
basket is in there. No, the basket has not been taken out. Look, go down and look, okay? Someone might have told you it was taken out, but the basket is in there, but the force of the water, the towels will go down into the basket and fill up the basket, and then the force of the water will shove all the other towels through the basket, over the basket, down into the bottom of the lift station. And it gets into the sewage system and floats down to the manholes and gets into propellers at the lift stations.
So what do you want to do to these people?
It's a faulty design system is what it is. It'll work it'll work half a day. But then if there's a big surge of towels put in there, and our men go down there every morning and check that thing. But it's not suitable for this type of, you shouldn't be putting towels in our sewage system is what I'm taking. And that basket.
This is regular cotton towels, you're saying, or just
Wipes.
It's
like
body
wipes and things?
It's body wipes. Those things are supposed to be put in controlled containers, toxic waste.
It's medical
shipped
waste,
out.
is
It's
what it
medical
is.
waste what it is. And it's destroying the impellers in the lift stations. But it's something that we're just working on, going to try to get it fixed.
Have you talked to them down there and addressed them about
Yes, we have.
not doing this again? Has it stopped?
I thought nurses and such are
This
instructed
letter-
to dispose of medical waste in the appropriate containers. I see them in the hospital hanging on the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
This is a copy of the letter we sent to them, and it's a second offense. It's just something that we're going to have to get straightened out because we've hired have to have these people come in, these contractors come in and suck out the lift stations that get filled up with blockage. And same thing with grease traps in the city. There's certain places that are just continuously stopping up our sewage lines with grease.
Well, in addition to the expense of repairing items like that, the equipment like that, my main concern is that medical waste or contaminations is going into the Cumberland River, is what's happening.
And our employees have to get down there and handle those things.
They shouldn't have to be doing that.
But it's just something we got to.
That sounds
Well,
like an
I, for
EPA
one,
thing to
We
me
don't have
me
also.
too.
employees
Me too.
Qualified to go in confined
No.
spaces anyway, so they shouldn't be going in there.
Not now we don't, but they will be eventually in a couple of weeks.
This sounds like that could be an EPA violation for them too.
We notify the EPA, and they say that the towels have to be in their proper containers to be disposed of. And
You got that report or papers
It's
from them?
mostly, no, I just they said to notify them, and we just send them an info copy.
I'd like to see what kind of towels y'all are talking about.
Well,
I used to work down where we're talking
I
about.
don't see anybody.
I don't see it
Actually stay
Wipes.
there. See,
Yeah.
some of them are.
And body
you know,
wipes,
No.
have-
you
have
stand
minimal
corrected, body wipes can be
capacity
flushed
anyway.
in the
If
toilet.
they
And those
could be
aren't
Not if they're
hazardous
medical
ones.
waste,
And
not
those
if they're
are not
considered medical
waste.
waste.
It's
They-
medical
they're
waste
not.
no matter
They
what you
could
do
be
with
doing
it.
don't
It's
even
going
know
into the
what
Cumberland
Going into
River
a sewage system.
and
Where do you
disease,
think it
disease.
goes? It's
They're
crap.
really trying to design a system where they can dispose of them through the garbage.
Right.
But it don't work. That's what the problem is. The basket it just doesn't work. It just doesn't stop the towels from going.
Can you put a revised, different type of a basket in there? Is there anything we can purchase that would?
It would take a huge basket, but we'd have to have some kind of a hydraulic lift to get it out, to empty it.
Well, whose responsibility is it? I mean, where it's at, whose responsibility is it? Is it the city's? Is it the facility?
Well, we could go down there and we go down there and lift, clean the basket out, but we can't do it. We can't have a man stay there to watch it every hour of the day. We check it every morning and empty it every morning. But then during the day,
So you're saying it's on the city's part then?
well, we have to.
The basket's on the city's responsibility, right?
And you said it's
Well, the
poor
basket's not
design.
functioning right.
It's in the county lift station. The county built the sewage system
Yeah.
down there. But
It sounds like a problem in the county.
Well, I mean, you're saying it's
basket
poor
thing.
design, so I don't hardly see how the facility is
I don't either.
responsible for it. if it's a poor design,
Well,
When you're
you have to go back to
disposing
engineers
wipes
design it.
that's
It needs to be
medically
redesigned,
contaminated.
What we're getting at, and,
you gotta remember, this is a nursing home down there.
Mhm.
yeah. Well, no, if they would just dispose of it as they're required to dispose, put it in a right container.
Mhm.
and
Before I
then
would
it
accuse
all-
them, I would make sure that you know
Well,
what.
see, that's what I'm
I don't
saying, is
see
some of
this
those
in right.
residents,
I
they
really-
could maybe have access to those towns, and they could be doing that and don't even realize,
Yeah.
That may not be
You
like
can't
put
their
that off
actual
on the
employees that are
facility.
doing it sometimes,
That's
is
the reason
what
I
I'm
said I'd like to see
saying.
what
And
that's
we're
possible,
talking
yeah.
about, see.
But we're working on, we're handling it. I mean, it's not something that's impossible to take care
Well,
of.
it sounds like it's more the city's problem than it is the facility's problem.
Well, we're responsible to get it fixed, let me put it that way. Yeah.
And I would make sure I didn't have anybody working in those spaces that don't have confined spaces.
We don't have, we don't have.
And I know we had one employee that actually was gonna go take that and even paid his money and he didn't let him go.
Really.
He lost his money. He lost $165 because he wouldn't let him go.
Well,
Willing employees. You should reimburse them, man.
okay, any other documents that you were interested in there? It's in the tray.
I have a question over this email from Laura Ross. I mean, what does that concern me
That's
really?
a resolution that we had here, it had my name on it. Someone questioned my name being on the resolution, which is a common practice. There's nothing at all wrong with it, and I just wanted to get clarification from.
Are you
the
talking about
legal-
Resolution 392, the one I'm trying to get a corrected copy of?
Yes.
No, it was not your name I complained about. You're the one that asked for the name to be taken out, not me.
What was the name?
The only thing that I said was to review and sign all the necessary documents that requires payment. That was the thing that I wanted changed.
Yeah.
And the
Just
council
review.
agreed to it. Everybody voted.
We all
on it.
did. We even talked to.
No, it was not your name was not a problem.
Parker, is that?
That's what you said. You said just take my name off and make it mayor.
What do you want it to change to?
I didn't want it. This has already been discussed at that meeting, you know. I don't want it changed. We voted on it today.
I misunderstood then. I thought-
Yeah, no, it was not your
You
name.
didn't want me to
You're the
sign
one
it.
that said take the name
Having
off.
permission to, with the documents and stuff, we wanted to, the
I
council
mean, this
had
is
to
like,
approve
this
anything
is like
before the
playing
mayor could
games.
sign
I mean,
it.
we sit here and vote on something and then we get it back and it's in the same way and it's misconstrued. When the council sat here and voted on that.
What was it vote for? I mean, just.
We were gonna change it to where the council had to give you approval for anything.
Would you let Miss Elliott answer? She
Yeah,
didn't-
right here it said in his capacity.
We were all discussing.
Yeah,
Don't
we all
overtalk
discussed
her,
it.
okay? Have one council member at a time, please.
The only thing that I questioned was the mayor to review and sign the necessary documents may be required for payment and completion of the project. That was one thing that I was questioning, but instructed council agreed to it.
How did you want it changed though?
It was in the minutes of that meeting. I wrote it down, my other minutes are not here. And then, Mayor, you're the one that said, okay, just strike my name off and make that mayor. We didn't say that, you said that.
Well,
So
Somebody-
I had no problem with your name being on there.
well,
It was just getting
did you
everything
read the
signed
letter
ahead
from
of time.
Miss Ross?
I did, and it just said you could sign it after council's approval. That's exactly what it says.
Okay.
Council didn't approve this.
Yes, they did.
No, we
With the
didn't.
pen and ink change.
No.
Sure did. It's in the minutes.
This
I
is
mean,
not-
it's on the
This is not the
recording.
corrected copy, Carla.
But on the recording,
But
it was approved.
Yeah,
that
but this,
resolution-
we do not
Mr.
have
Bond,
still
is
yet
that
the corrected
resolution
copy.
correct as it's written? Could you,
No.
Right here's
We
my
asked-
copy. I made notes that night.
okay.
Let's see, let me find
I
it right
can-
here.
This is one I've been trying
Carl
to get
made
a
a
hold of for
motion
2
with
months.
changes, and
I'll
Miss
transcribe
Elliott
it and bring
made,
it.
seconded with changes.
The next meeting.
Changes were, and Parker, I'm pretty sure you were even here.
He was.
It said the city of Cumberland, Kentucky authorizes mayor in his capacity, well, it says as mayor, we can change that, to review and sign the necessary documents that may be required for said application.
For the application, not any kind of.
And Carla made the motion with
Yes.
changes, and Miss Elliott made the,
And the,
seconded it, yeah. Now, that's what I have in my notes.
resolution was, brought by the,
David Burke.
David Bowes, yeah.
yeah, Yeah. And he had it on his machine, and he was going to fix it, remember?
Right.
And he was going to take out the mayor's name.
We didn't request that, the mayor
But
requested
I
that.
don't recall exactly how it came off, but I do recall that the mayor's name was going to go off, that it would be the mayor, whoever the mayor is, whether it's Mayor Hatfield or whoever, the mayor would be authorized to sign
The application.
the application.
Mhm.
Not
He was
any
gonna
bids
apply.
or.
Yeah, so that didn't
And he was
change.
going to apply.
Yep.
And so, that's how I remember it, that, the engineer had it on his machine, and he had brought that, although neither here nor there, the enterprise reported that it was my resolution.
Yeah, I remember we talked
When
about
I read
that,
the
yeah.
resolution. It wasn't my resolution, it was, of course, it's the council's
Yeah.
resolution. And so I read it because the engineer had brought it, but he was gonna make the corrections and he was gonna send it to Robin. So that's my,
So this one-
that's my
That's your
recollection.
story and you're sticking to it.
Well,
But if you listen to the
there's
tape,
been some
Robin,
water under the
If you listen to the
bridge
tape,
since then.
I've got I've got it right here.
Which
But if you
meeting
listen
was
to your
that? I'll look
tape.
at my minutes.
We shouldn't have to go
Which
through all.
minute?
No, we shouldn't.
Okay.
And that's what I'm
It's the same
saying. I mean, this should,
Right.
it's like a game.
Read that and we approve it, okay?
Okay.
Was that the September the 11th meeting?
September 11th meeting.
Yeah, we already approved it.
We already approved it with
It
the
was number
corrections.
392 is what I have.
We'll just null and void everything and pass, everything, and read this resolution here for it. as
Well,
it's
Mayor, that's my complaint. We do things once and it's not getting carried through.
We've
It's
already
like
approved
we're
it with
playing
corrections.
games with one another. I'm willing to work with you,
Let's correct
but
this and
Well,
try
I
to
mean,
go forward, okay?
we've already corrected
Make
it.
sure it looks like. how
We
many
go over and
actually-
over and
Do we
over
have a corrected
things.
copy?
We made a motion to.
Here's the signed
That's
copy.
the only problem
We
we
got
got.
this one, 392 in our box on November the 1st, but it's not corrected. It's the same thing. Yeah, it didn't have corrections on it.
I mean, I didn't
That's
see
a-
that.
that's all we
I didn't-
said,
I
though.
never
You got-
saw
you
it
got the
after
corrected one.
we did it, and
Yeah,
I marked it.
we don't have
I
it
marked
corrected.
what
I just think when
wrong
we have a
was.
meeting
That's
this
right.
month,
Gave it back
the
to
corrections
him.
should be made the next
Correct
month,
Robinson.
and let's go on.
That's exactly
Instead of
Yeah,
right.
the
rehashing.
one that we got
I remember
on
that's
November
exactly what the
1st
guy
is
said.
still exactly like
Yeah.
what it was. It didn't have any changes to it.
That's what happens when you're fooling with those outside companies anyway.
But we're wasting our time sitting here rehashing and rehashing when
Okay.
corrections should be made for the next time.
Edit the signed one.
Yeah.
We did
Made
make
the
a motion to approve
Elliott
it just with the
seconded.
correct.
All in
Yeah.
favor?
We just need the corrected
Yeah.
copy.
Number 392,
Yeah.
water system improvement, to apply for grants, to make application for grants.
Well, in this case here, the grant has already been applied for, and it looks like it's been changed from a grant loan to a full grant of $1,800,000 for water improvements.
That sounds good.
That's good.
1,800,000?
Like I say, I wrote on it that night.
It was like a loan.
What is it, 730? It's good.
Yeah.
It's authorized mayor.
The mayor and his capacity as mayor.
Oh,
Yeah. That's the way we did it.
Now, if you listen to that tape, Mayor, nobody said anything about your name being on there. But that's my problem, is we're going over things and over things and over things when the correction should be made after the council meeting and we get it and go on.
Let's get this corrected and let it go, okay?
Is that what she's doing?
She's making a corrected copy right now.
The signature.
In other words, you're gonna take these minutes seriously.
Yeah, I mean, this is your record of what you do. I mean, it has to be accurate.
Yeah, I think, and like what you were saying, Parker, I think the main reason too that we had mayor is so it just wouldn't be, like you say, you know,
Whenever the
whoever is mayor.
Yeah.
My name on it anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you listen to it, the mayor is the one who said
Yeah.
that. What'd you do
Is
that
that got the
fast?
same number on it, Robin?
Yeah.
392.
Okay, we're gonna put a big X on this one. Now this.
I'm just gonna write correct.
Yeah, that's where it's supposed to be. So,
For the application.
That's the way I had it in my notes.
It's dated the 11th day of September. Okay?
That's the reimbursement, it's already been voted.
Been voted and approved.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if there's no more questions or anything, that's all I have. Let's see, well,
The police,
we still have the budget. You know, it's still pending. And,
we did have this about the police officers' right to compete thing.
yeah, the training.
Oh, yeah.
I think
That's actually a good
that's a
idea.
needful thing. We've trained a lot of officers to go to another job, and we need to get a little bit more tighter and professional on this.
I'd like to ask Mr. Boggs about a question about that. You know, our personnel ordinance and everything specifically states that we can't enter into a contract. There's no contracts available according to our personnel ordinance. But can we enter into a contract like that, Mr. Boggs?
Has he had a chance to look at it?
You know, I haven't looked at the personnel as opposed to this contract. I haven't even seen the contract to come up. What
Okay.
kind of contract is
It's
it?
a training commitment, service commitment after, say they go to even a week's school at city expense, or go to a 18-week school at city expense. Can we legally bind them to an extended period of time service contract?
I'm
If-
sure,
we'd
well,
have-
I would think.
We have to amend our budget, our personnel ordinance, I'd say.
Uh-huh. We need to work on that anyway.
Yeah, you gotta look at your personnel ordinance. You can do this,
You just have to amend it.
but it has to be consistent. I mean, you could, if you wanted to adopt this as part of the personnel, you could adopt, if you want to adopt this. I'm not saying you did. That's your call. But if you want to, you could adopt something like this for future. You couldn't make this retroactive, I don't think, on employees that are already under hire.
Yeah.
But for future hires, you could make this. It's, and I don't mean to trivialize it in any way, but it's sort of like what you do with the uniform deal. The employees have the cost of the cleaning of their uniforms, the laundry taken out of there, and it's reflected on their pay stub. And their pay. And if they don't turn in the rentals on the uniforms, then you take that out of their pay. And so, you can do that type of thing, but you need it to be reflected somewhere either in your personnel policy as it exists or as amended to include it. Does that make sense?
You want to take it and look at it and make sure it's
I gave him my copy, I can get another.
okay before we vote on it, or we talk about it further?
For your December meeting?
Yeah, please.
And I know you couldn't do that with our employees now, but we really should add this to our personnel manual, that anybody that's hired into the police department or the water sewer department, that we have to spend all this money on getting them certified.
Right.
And that they're just take up and leave, and right after they're certified, and we've lost. We're constantly doing this. But I would like, we do need to
What is this?
have,
I'd like to look at it because the other thing is, if you do, you've got to have some way to collect it.
That's another thing, see?
You've got to have some way to collect it by either allowing it to be a lien that you could present it without having to go through court to say they were hired by the city of Whitesburg.
That's the first I've seen it too.
would it be not more so a right to compete form than a form that would be reimbursed through monies, but a right to compete
Well,
with the,
there's some questions about those right to compete clauses. I mean, the hospitals seem to